now, and the focus on two wide receivers in particular, but the moves that actually did occur this offseason that have just been so impactful for this football team that sits at 7-2 heading into the bye week. I mentioned before the break, there to me was a player that I would have been more than happy bringing back, but that I just assumed there was no way that the Chiefs would bring him back based off of prior history. And I'm just telling you, his play is making that very difficult, I believe, for the Chiefs. L'Jarius Sneed is who I'm talking about. I'd said in camp that I think he's more valuable to the Chiefs than any other team in football, and that is because of how Steve Spagnuolo utilizes him. We know he's great off the blitz. We know he's been a heck of a guy in coverage this year, going up against whether it's Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill last week. They'll get Jamar Chase again here, maybe, depending on his health at the end of the season. You go through some of the top-tier wide receivers they have faced, and he has locked them down. And is the extension back in play for fans? Because I think there's a lot of people that just assumed, well, they let Charvarius Ward walk a year ago. They're going to have to pay Trent McDuffie in a couple of years because he's an all-pro. And that, well, they're just not going to pay Sneed. Are we sure? He is forcing their hand, I think, a little bit. Now, they have typically not done it, but that's the type of play that he is at right now heading into the bye week. And I still think if you're Sneed, he, to me, is more valuable in Kansas City, and we'll see if the free agency market says that as well. But I think he's more valuable in Kansas City because of how Spags utilizes him.
That's really hard right now because he's starting to disprove that a little bit. Like, I understand that notion. I think I was with you for a long time, and I'm not even saying it's not true to an extent, but he's clearly valuable other places. I mean, there's
got
no
better as a
argument
coverage corner, I think.
The difference between him and, like, let's say the text line was immediately pre-assuming we were getting ready to talk about Willie Gay.
Right.
Another player, right, that you could make an argument for, hey, they're making this conversation more difficult across the board for these teams because he is playing so much better. I've seen Sneed. This is the best year of Willie Gay's career. This is the best I've ever seen Willie Gay look. I'm pretty used to L'Jarius Sneed playing at this level. This is not uncommon for him. We're drawing more attention to it, and I do think he is playing slightly above.
I think he's improved as just a coverage guy. For a little while, he was always bringing up, well, man, he's just great off the blitz, and Spags dials it up and all that. And that's, to me, how I viewed him. I think we're finding out more and more how legit he is as a coverage corner. I just mentioned what they did, him and McDuffie, against Tyreek Hill, what they did against Justin Jefferson. Those are the two big ones that stand out.
L'Jarius Sneed, 37 coverage snaps against the Dolphins. He was targeted 4 times. He allowed 1 catch for 3 yards.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane.
That's it. Passer rating against 39.6 is about as low as you can get. That's it, right? That's all that they got against him. He is playing to a point that I think I would do it. Because what I'm coming to realize is that you need one strength of your team on offense and defense typically anyway. On offense for the Chiefs, they don't have to worry about it. It'll always be Patrick Mahomes. Cool. They decided to make the offensive line the second biggest strength of the offense. That's what they're going with right now. Defensively, it probably won't be the defensive line next year. No Chris Jones. Maybe Dana goes and gets paid somewhere because of the contract he's likely to going to do based on how well he's playing, etc. The secondary of your team could be the strength. Got one more year of Justin Reed. Brian Cook is showing some nice strides in year 2. And then you got the dynamic duo. You go Sneed McDuffie and you lock down elite wide receivers at a time in the NFL that it's as hard as it's ever been. I think I'd be more tempted than I've ever been to pay Sneed. Part of that, I'll be honest, is because they haven't paid anybody. You got to pay somebody at some point.
Yeah, if you're saying, hey, they got to save money for future stars, like sign long term.